You're not too old, you're not too young. It's something that anyone can do. So I think people should remember that just because you're doing something, you can change that if you want to.
The Bishop Stortford Community Podcast is all about shining a light on the businesses, community leaders and local legends that make our town a great place to live. But behind the scenes, to run the podcast, it does cost money. So we've set up a simple way for you to support the podcast through the Giving Lottery. It's just £1 per week. And every week you're in with a chance to win a prize. And a portion of that money goes directly into supporting the podcast and creating more stories and more interviews like today's. If you'd like to support what we're building here, the link's in the show notes. Thanks in advance for your support. Okay, back to the episode. Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Laura Crozier. Laura, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, Laura. For those of us who don't know you yet, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
So I'm Laura Crozier and I run Laura Elise Tattoo. I'm a fine line tattoo artist. I'm newly trained, so I trained last year. So it's still very new business. I'm also a mum of two, stepmom of two. And yeah, this is a new business venture for me, a new career change after having the children. I used to be a footwear designer, so that was my career for many, many years and stopped when I had the kids. And this is, I know what I'm doing.
Fantastic. So being a footwear designer, I'm guessing that gives you the artistic flair that you're going to need to do fine line tattooing?
So yeah. I've always been creative and I've always wanted to be a footwear designer, and I had a great career doing that. Worked for a few different people on the high street and it was fantastic. But then when I had my son, didn't really want to travel anymore and I sort of took a step back from industry, and I have really missed being creative, and so doing the fine line tattooing is just perfect for me because it lets me be creative. It's a really special job to be able to do. And yeah, it's just been great.
What's the process like? Because when you're designing footwear, I'm guessing it's quite iterative, where you come up with something and then you kind of work on it a bit until you get to a kind of final design. But with tattooing, it's a bit more kind of one and done, or am I misunderstanding the process?
No, most of them are. It's really collaborative with the customer. So people will come to me with a vision of what they want to do or an idea. And then my job is to sort of make that a reality and turn it into a tattoo. My style seems to be developing into sort of florals and delicate script and things like that. So a lot of my work, it has a style that you can recognize, but no two items are the same. Or no two tattoos are the same. So that's really nice because the creativity just never stops and it keeps changing.
Yeah. Were you always interested in tattooing before you picked up the needle? Picked up the needle? Is that the right term?
Yeah, the machine. Yeah, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but it felt like a massive thing to sort of change. I'd always been a shoe designer, I'd always been footwear and worked so hard to do that and get there. And it just felt like a really big deal to do something new. It's scary learning something new, training in something new, starting a business. It's all just, it was a lot to sort of went back and forth. Can I do it? Should I do it? When you're a mum and you've got other priorities and things, but took the leap last year and haven't looked back. It's been great.
Fantastic. And what was the process for you to get trained up to become a tattooist?
So I trained with Petite Ink Academy. Kaylee runs it and she's absolutely amazing and she really knows her stuff and she's so supportive. She's local to here and I'd been watching her in the background for quite a while, following along on her content and stuff. And she made me think, I can do this and it's something that is within reach for me. And I was waiting till my youngest went to school to start and it was always thinking, right, next year I'll do it. And then last year a spot came up on her course. Her courses get booked up so quickly. She's really in demand. So a spot came up and my youngest was actually starting nursery. So I thought, well, I've got a few days a week and maybe I can make it work. So I just took the leap and drove everybody mad talking about it for months and months and then took the leap and did it. And it's been great. So I trained with her. She it was a 4-day intensive course and then we tattooed people in the course. She teaches you everything, theory behind it, and then you get to tattoo models with her shadowing you and looking at your technique and then teaching you everything you need to know basically. And then after the course, you have her support and it's been about lots of practice and tattooing willing volunteers, and I can't believe how many people were willing to have me tattoo them. It was just amazing. It's been brilliant. It's been so busy, and it's one of those careers where I'm going to be learning forever, and I really like that aspect of it, because there's just always something new to find out or try, or like new needles coming out, new techniques to do, and it's really great. So it's really challenging, and it's creative, so it's just perfect.
And you must build up a quite a unique bond with the people that you're working with. It's not just you're not sitting there in silence. Like you're talking to them for long periods of time, aren't you?
Yeah, that's part of why I love the job as well. Like meeting people, I love people, and always interested in people's stories and their life stories. I'm sort of person. I like to make a holiday friend, because I like to meet people and chat to people, and so that is great, because you hear some fantastic stories, and people come to you with really special stories as to why they want the tattoo, and it's really nice just sort of meeting people that have finally think, I really want a tattoo, and been a bit scared to do it maybe, or haven't been sure, and it's been really nice clients that I've been able to sort of help along the way and go back and forth with the design and make the appointment really comfortable for them, and then they've loved their tattoo, and then they come back again for more, and that's great. So yeah, it's the people are like a massive part of why I love doing this as well.
And is there a particular kind of demographic that you work for, or you mentioned the floral element?
So mainly women, mums, people that haven't had tattoos before, that maybe are a bit sort of scared of the process, unsure, sort of have wanted it for years. Like, for example, I've got a lady that's booked in, or about to book in with me. She's 70, and on her bucket list was to have a tattoo. And so for her birthday, her daughter-in-law bought her my gift vouchers, and she's coming to me for a tattoo. And so things like that, just people that I can support that don't maybe necessarily know about tattoos as much as someone that gets them loads and goes to more traditional places. So yeah, it's sort of women, mums, first timers, that sort of demographic.
What, if any, misconceptions do first timers have about coming in and getting a tattoo?
It's mainly the pain that worries people, and the fact it's permanent and going to be there forever is like a massive thing. So making that decision is really hard. But what I find with that is that when we go back and forth on designs, they'll just know instantly when that's the right design. They're like, yeah, no, that's it. When they see it, because sometimes people find it hard to visualize what they want. And if you can draw it for them, then they're like, yeah, that's it. And with the pain, it does hurt a little bit, but not as much as a traditional tattoo, because with fine line tattoos, the needles are a lot thinner, so there's a lot less trauma to the skin, and it's a really manageable pain for people, and that everyone is surprised at how little it does hurt when they do have it. My studio is a really calm environment, and I must ask my clients about 100 times and think, are you okay? Do you want me to stop? Are you okay? So I'll drive you mad with that. But we go at a slow pace, and we can stop, take as many breaks as you need. So there's no, sometimes if it's a bigger piece, we can split it across a couple of sessions so that people can sort of manage the experience. But it's not that bad, really.
Where's the best place for people to see your work online and book in with you if they're interested in coming along?
Through my Instagram account, I take all my bookings through there. So it's Laura Elise Tattoo, and all of my work's on the page, and I'm always on there sort of talking about what I'm doing, showing people the processes and giving them information, putting my flash designs up there. When you were speaking before about, is it sort of one-offs? As a tattoo artist, you do something called a flash. So it's like work you want to do, and you put it out at a slightly discounted price because it's for building your portfolio to practice, and it's just stuff that you really want to do. So sometimes if they're really small flash designs, they are repeatable, and it just it can let maybe people get a tattoo if they're at a lower price point. So it's more of a sort of an entry thing, and I do put bigger pieces up there as well for people to choose from. But yeah, I'm constantly putting stuff up there for people to see.
Great. And I'm guessing people just chuck so many questions at you in the DMs.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, but that's what it's about. You've got to be comfortable. You can't get a tattoo if you're not sure. And I always encourage people to ask as many questions as they want to. It's really important that they understand everything, and that the process is clear, and that they get what they want in the end, because it is forever, and it's a big deal. It's something special. So
brilliant. Well, it's great that people, have built up that trust already with you to have that conversation and to have those done. We will put links to your socials up so people can follow along and see the work you're doing and book in with you. But it's great that you've, started a career from scratch almost and built it up over the last 12 months or so. It's really interesting to hear how that all works, Laura. Thank you for sharing. Are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions now? These are 3 super fast questions that we ask every guest that come on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say and who needs to hear it the most?
It would be, it's never too late. So this relates back to me and my journey and, starting again after having a career, having some kids, and, it's not too late. You can do anything. And that also then goes back to getting a tattoo. It's never too late to do that either. You're not too old, you're not too young. It's something that anyone can do. So I think people should remember that just because you're doing something, it doesn't, you can change that if you want to.
Yeah. I love that. And I love the invention of bucket lists. I think they've helped people step out of their comfort zone and try new things. So, that's something really interesting. I have not had a tattoo. I must admit, my hands are sweating a little bit from even talking to you about having a tattoo. My wife would laugh at...
Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
But if you want to come along and we can film it.
My wife would laugh at me because she would say I'm allergic to slight pain. Big pain is fine, but ever so slight pain, I've got a weird reaction to.
Make it one. I mean,
we'll see how that goes. Oversharing.
No, I'm very bad at that.
Okay, question 2. Where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
Well, it's already too popular, but this is a really hard question to answer because there's so many places, but it has to be East. When we moved here about 5 years ago and we came into town to have a look around, and we went in there and I was like, this is amazing that we have a food hall like this in Bishop Stortford. They're the sort of things you get in London. Yeah, love it there. Always want to go there. I just wish it was open a little bit later, but it's amazing. And all the staff are so friendly and just love all the variety there. It's great to go with friends and to take the kids as well. It's a really nice venue.
Yeah, I think the variety is really interesting because you can go in there and you can, experiment a little bit, and the kids, they can try new things, or they can see that you're having something different to them and they might try out bits. I think it's a really good calling card for Bishop Stortford. As you said, when we moved here, that's where we went into, and we were amazed that it was, this in Bishop Stortford. So, it's still going strong. There's still new pop-ups turning up in there as well. We must get them on the show. Laura, I'll make it happen. Last question. Who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
Again, this was such a hard one to answer because I feel like there's loads of people. I was going to give a shout out to This Is BSCM23, but she's been shouted out quite a bit, quite rightly, on your show because she's amazing. And I just couldn't decide. But I'm going to call out Business Pronto Print that I have used a lot in personal life and in work life because they are just so amazing there. They are so helpful. Nothing is ever too much trouble. I don't have a printer at home. And so they are like my home printer. I have printed out, no job is too small for them, which I just love. Like, they give the same care and attention to if I've had to print out homework for my son there, or when we got married, I did all my wedding stationery and they printed out all the boards for me. And then now with the business, they've been printing stuff for me there, and they're just super quick, super friendly, super helpful. They're just great. So I think I wanted to give them a shout out.
That's a fantastic shout out for Pronto Print. Again, we're trying to get them on the podcast. We're trying to make it happen. So I will redouble my efforts on that, Laura. Thank you very much for that. Again, what's your social media handle so people can follow along online?
Laura Elise Tattoo.
Excellent. Those will be in the show notes. They'll be all over social media as well, so people can follow along. Thank you. Again, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, Laura. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way you can support the show is to hit follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, wherever you're listening or watching this, and share it on your socials, or maybe share it with someone in town who's not on social media that might have a bucket list of having a new tattoo, and they can give Laura a shout. You never know who might be interested in that. And if you've can think of someone who's stepping out their comfort zone to start a new business from scratch that you think we should feature on the podcast, drop their name in the comments below and I can reach out to them and invite them on the show. Again, Laura, thank you so much for joining us on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast today. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.